Before we get to our notes today, a couple things that I want to talk about are what we did yesterday. So yesterday we talked about the distributive property, okay? And the distributive property says that if you have a number out front, then you multiply it into each term inside that parentheses. So like when we had 2 times 3x plus 5, I distributed, right? I did 2 times 3x. And what is 2 times 3x? 6x. And then I did 2 times 5, which is 10. And those are not like terms because one has an x and one is a number, so I couldn't put them together. I also did stuff like this. 3 times 5x is 15x. And 3 times -1 is -3. And then those are not like terms, so I just left it, okay? Then we got into some that also had some like terms in it. So we did stuff like this. So what did I always know to start with? Ethan? What are they called? Am I helping? What do I start with always? Tell me. Parentheses, because order of operations say I always do the parentheses first. So that's where I start. So 2 times 4x is 8x. 2 times 2 is 4. Now, should I distribute that 2 to here? No, because I only distribute to things that are inside the parentheses. Okay, so that minus 5x just goes there. And then I ask myself, do I have any like terms? The 8x and the minus 5x are like terms. Does everybody agree? Okay, so what is 8x minus 5x? 3x, and then I still have that plus 4, so I'll just tack that on to the end. All right, and then we did a challenge problem. That was like this. I had a bunch of stuff going on. And what did we always say? We still start with parentheses. Jonathan, what's so interesting? All right, well, look at me some too in the board, please. Okay. All right, so I always start with the parentheses, so I'll start here. So I only distribute to what's in the parentheses. So 5 times 2x is 10x. And then 5 times what? No. -3, which is -15. And then that's all I distribute to because that's all that's in the parentheses. And then I still have this plus 2x, and I still have this 7. Now, can somebody tell me some like terms that I have, Jackson? Terry? Perfect. Any other like terms? Other Jackson? 10x and the plus 2x. So those are going to go together. So 10x plus 2x is 12x. And then what's this? 7? How would I read this? 7? You can either say 7 plus -15 or 7 minus 15. Does anybody know what 7 minus 15 is? -8. Okay. All right. Now, before we get started today, we've got to talk about one other thing. And that is something called a greatest common factor. Okay. Does anybody know, besides Raymond and Bryant and Timmy, what a greatest common factor is? Seamus?
The greatest number
of them all. Okay, the greatest number of them all that they're all divisible by. So this is where our multiplication chart's going to come in. Okay, so multiplication chart. If you don't know your multiplication facts, this is going to be very helpful. All right, so if I said, hey, you all, what is the greatest common factor of 33 and 77? 11. I didn't say what's the answer you had. All right, so let's talk about how Raymond would know that. So with a multiplication chart, you would start at the bottom, okay? And I would look for 33 and 77 to be in the same row. And I'm starting from the bottom because I'm wanting the greatest common factor, okay? So I look here. There's no 33 or 77 in this row. So then I go to the next row. Oh, there's a 33 and there's a 77. So the greatest common factor must be 11. All right, if I said, what's the greatest common factor of 18 and 45? Don't tell me. Let's make sure we're sitting up, not sleeping. Make you stand. All right, so I'm looking for 18 and 45. So I'm going to start here on the bottom. And I'm looking for 18 or 45. Nope. 18 or 45. Nope. 18, 45. Nope. Oh, 18 and 45 right here. What the greatest common factor must be 9. All right, what if I said, what is the greatest common factor of 12 and 30? So I want everybody to start looking for that one. 12 and 30. If you can raise your hand if you know, but let's look at our paper if you don't know, and let's be finding it. All right, Andy, what do you think? Yes, it is 6. Now, I did hear somebody say 3. 3 is a common factor, but it's not the greatest common factor. So we said 12 and 30. So I start down at the bottom. Here's a 12, but there's no 30. No. Oh, here's a 30, but no 12. Nope. No. No. Oh, right here, 12 and 30. So that's how I know it's 6. Okay. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to work backwards. They're going to give us this, and they want us to find this. Okay. Now, here's my other question. Okay. This from here, this is very important that you're listening. This is from here to here. I did multiplication because distributing is multiplication. If I'm going to work backwards from here to here, what operation do you think I'm going to do? Division, because it's backwards. Okay, so let's look at our notes from yesterday. So everybody should have these. I'll give you a second to get them out if you don't. All right. Yeah.
Oh, I lost my phone. You don't need to. No.
How fast can you walk? All right, pump your arms. You better pump your arms too. Pump them. Pump them. Let's get it going. Come on.
Pump your arms, Andy.
Jonathan, you better pump them. Let's go. Like you lost your kid 2 stores down at the mall. Come on, pump them. Like you lost your child 2 stores down at the mall. Well, that's what I'm saying. Pretend. There you go, like that. Mom walk. I did lose my 3-year-old in the store one time, and I was hysterical. Angel, what was that last night?
No, it was like 5 years ago.
I found it. Why is it raining so bad? It was in a locker.
Hurry, hurry, hurry. Did you find it, Jonathan? Okay.
It wasn't in my folder.
Was anybody not here yesterday? Everybody was here. Okay. So we're going ahead and fill in these words while we wait for a dude to come back. All right. So factoring an expression. Expressions can be factored to remove the common factor. And this is how we undo the distributive property. Okay, so it says the two steps that we're going to follow. Determine the greatest common factor between the values, and then we're going to remove the greatest common factor by dividing each term by it. So let's circle dividing and star it. That's very important. To undo it, we're going to divide out the greatest common factor. Okay. All right. So this first one here, 6a plus 2. Let's look at the directions. Rewrite. So rewrite means that you're going to basically undo it. Rewrite each expression as a product of two factors. So if I'm going to rewrite it as a product, to work backwards from a product, what does the word product even mean? Just tell me. Answer to the multiplication. So if I'm going to rewrite it as a product, I'm going to go backwards from multiplying, which means I'm going to divide. So the two steps that I'm following: determine the greatest common factor. So let's look at the two numbers. Don't yell it out. Hold on. The two numbers are 6 and 2. So let's all use our multiplication chart for a minute if you don't know, and let's find the greatest common factor of 6 and 2. Okay. So if you're not sure what I'm doing, once again, I'm going to start down here, and 6 or 2, these are way too big. Oh, here's one that's got a 6, but no 2. Here's one that's got a 6, but no 2. Oh, here's 2 and 6. Shh. So the greatest common factor is 2. So I'm going to rewrite the 2. Okay. Is everybody okay with that? How I found that that's the greatest common factor? Yeah. All right. And then I'm going to put a parenthesis, and I'm going to divide it out. Okay. So this is 6a divided by 2. Well, what is 6 divided by 2? 3. So that's going to be 3a. And then, Preston, you paying attention? And then 2 divided by 2 is 1. So I'm going to put a plus 1. Okay, and you can check these. So let's say that you're on this problem and you're like, nah, I really don't think that's looking right. Here's what you can do. Take another piece of paper, write the problem again, and distribute it. So 2 times 3a is 6a, and 2 times 1 is 2. Hey, it is right. That is the right rewriting it as the product, rewriting it as the distributive property. Okay. All right, let's do this next one together. So I'm rewriting it as a product. So 24x minus 9. So let's get our multiplication chart. And let's start looking for 24 and 9 in the same row. So don't yell it out. Let's give everybody a chance to look for 24 and 9 in the same row. I'm going to give everybody a minute first. No working ahead, Terry. All right, everybody tell me which one. 3. If you don't know that, here's where I'm coming from. Here's 24, but there's no 9. No 24 or 9. No 24 or 9. Oh, here's 9, but there's no 24. Here's 24, but no 9. Here's 24, but no 9. Oh, there's 24, but no 9. Here's a 9 and a 24. So I know the GCF is 3. So I'm going to put a 3. And since I'm working backwards from multiplication, I'm going to divide it out, Andy. All right, so we divide. If you don't have a calculator, you can use a multiplication chart to divide. If you don't know how to do that, here's how you do it. Since we're in the 3s, here's 24. Move up, and it's 8. Okay, 24 divided by 3 is 8. So this would be 8x because 24x divided by 3 is 8x. And this is what kind of 9?
Negative.
So negative 9 divided by 3 is negative 3. All right. Let's all find the greatest common factor on 15. So let's not yell it. Let's give everybody a minute. All right, Kimberly, what'd you get? 5. Good. So once again, 10 and 35. So I'm going to look on my paper. No 10 or 35. Nope. Here's a 10, but no 35. Nope. 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 No. Oh, here's a 10 and a 35. So that's how I know the greatest common factor is 5. So I'm going to put a 5. Then I'm going to divide that out. So 10x divided by 5. What's 10 divided by 5? 2. So 2x. And this is 35 divided by 5, which is 7. And you can check that. Look on here. Here's 35. And it's 5 times 7 makes 35. So that way you can use that. Okay. Why don't you all try this one on your own? I'm just going to move this up here. Let's do all right, 14x minus 49. So let's all do this one. Let's use our paper. Let's find our greatest common factor and divide it out. I want you to finish the whole problem. I didn't ask yet. I want you to finish the whole problem. Put your hands down. I don't want you just to write the number on there. You need to divide it out. Don't just tell me greatest common factor. All right, the angels already ruined it for us, but it is 7. One of the angels. All right, 7. Right here, 14 and 49 are in the 7. So I'm going to take a 7. That's the greatest common factor, and I'm going to divide it out. So 14x divided by 7. What's 14 divided by 7? 2. So 2x. And this is negative 49 divided by 7. Negative 7. So this right here is your final answer for when you're rewriting it, not just the 7. Okay, let's do this one. Let's do... So 45x plus 72. So this one, you're probably going to need your multiplication chart. Huh? Yeah, they're all up there. Hold on. Okay, so let's look for 45 and 72. So I'm starting at the bottom. Oh, there's 72, but there's no 45. So let's move up to the 11s. Nope. 10s. Nope. 9s. There's 45 and 72. So it's 9. Okay. Now, what do I do now? I divide it out. So 45 divided by 9 is 5. So 5x. And 72 divided by 9 is 8. So 9 times 5x plus 8. All right, how do we feel about that?
Fantastic. I feel like a Barbie doll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do one more problem here. And this one, I want you to simplify. So this one's a little bit different. So let's do 1.5 times 4x minus 6 plus 9x. So remember we talked about how the word to simplify means that you distribute and combine like terms. So if I was to read this one, Angel, I would read it as 1.5 times 4x minus 6 plus 9x. So that's my hint that I need to multiply and then add. So I always distribute by doing the parentheses first. And guys, please try to get a calculator so you all can back yourself up. Even if it's one from the Dollar Tree, I'll be better than not having one at all. A reminder, these practice problems that we're doing right now, you're not supposed to wait until I go over them to write it down. You need to be trying it now. Practice makes perfect. Wendy, what are you doing? Snoozing? Andy, did you do this problem? Yeah, you do. Jonathan, I'm so proud of you for what you just said. All right, Jonathan's going to tell us how he did 4 times 1.5. Okay, no, this is very important. No, guys, this is phenomenal. Listen to him. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. So what I'm hearing is when you did 1.5 times 4x. Okay. So he took half of 4, which is 2, but it's 1.5. So it's going to be 4 plus 2, which is 6x. That's actually a 6x there. Okay. I also could write out 1.5 times 4 and do it this way. 5 times 4 is 20. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6, so it's 6. 1.5 times 4 is 6x. 1.5 times negative 6. Well, like Jonathan was saying, well, what's half of 6? 3, and 3 plus 6 is 9. So 1.5 times negative 6 is negative 9. Or you could do 1.5 times 6. That's 30, which is 9. Okay, you could do it either way. After I distribute, or you could use your calculator. After I distribute, I always look for like terms. So do I have any like terms? The 6x and this 9x. So this is positive 6x plus 9x. So what is 6 plus 9? 15x. And then I have that minus 9 to tack back on at the end. Okay. We're going to work on this today, and I want to talk about it just for a second. All the problems are mixed together, and you do need to show your work or I'm trashing it. Okay? So, like, here's what I want you to answer me. Do you distribute? Do you distribute and combine like terms, or do you do greatest common factor on number 1? How do you know you're supposed to distribute? Because it has parentheses. Number 7, what are you supposed to do? Distribute because it has parentheses. Number 8, it's got parentheses, so I distribute. What about number 9? Greatest common factor. Guys, listen. Pay attention up here. Number 9, I do greatest common factor because it's not parentheses, because the directions just say simplify or expand the expression. So it doesn't tell you which ones you're supposed to distribute, which ones you're supposed to do greatest common factor. So that's what I'm telling you. If you see parentheses, you need to distribute. Like on number 9 or number 4, it does not have parentheses, so you're going to do what we did today, greatest common factor. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? And then once you get your answer, you're going to find your answer down here, and then you're going to write it on the line. So like if number 6, if the answer to number 6 is, I don't know, D, you would go down to 6 and put a D on number 6. Okay, because it's a joke. Why did the obtuse angle go to the beach? I don't know. All right, we have 20 minutes before we go to lunch. There's no reason that you cannot get most of this done. Yeah. Your brain cells have been staring at your notebook instead of the work today.
My brain cells are non-existent.